Why do words matter? It's 1997, and I am an AmeriCorps member with Jumpstart for Young Children. As part of our service year, we're there to work with preschoolers on building language, literacy, and social-emotional skills. One day, we held an activity for the kids where we allowed them to read a variety of books and create an art project that would bring their learning to life. Now, we didn't tell them what to do. Rather, we gave them an opportunity to really just be creative. Now, I am watching one little boy we'll call John, and John is running around the room, and he's grabbing crayons and markers and scissors and paper, and he sits down and he gets deeply into his work. Now, about 20 minutes later, John runs over to me, and he says, Miss Danielle, I'm an idiot. Now, in this moment, I am both deeply horrified and confused, until I realized he had glued feathers on and created a headdress. I have always known that words mattered, but in this moment, so did context. As context matters even today, as we consider the word Indian has been replaced in the US by Native American or Indigenous to describe the first peoples of this land. So I ask you again, why do words matter? I am a Black cisgender woman, a mother of one, a business owner. What sense do you make of that? Based on the description these words provide, what do you actually know about me? We use many words to describe ourselves, but yet often remain misunderstood, and at worst, we're unseen. In a time of extreme societal polarization, how we make sense of words matters more than ever. Democrat, Republican, vaccinated, anti-vaxxer, Black, white, gay, straight, pro-life, pro-choice. The mere mention of these words conjures up not only a definition, but a narrative that brings that definition to life. The Oxford Dictionary defines word as a single unit of language that can be spoken or written. But what happens when we no longer have a shared meaning? When terms are no longer understood by the masses, and even the fact that facts themselves have been called into question? Where does this leave us? Words matter, but only to the extent that we understand them. So as I stand here before you tonight, I'd like to challenge the assumption that we inherently understand even our native language. Consider for a moment the last time that you heard a conversation where you felt misunderstood. It left you feeling like, they just don't understand me. What were the circumstances around that? Our experiences, our background, our value, our culture all shape how we hear words and how we interpret the context. In fact, our background is often the context from which we understand the world. Take, for example, a simple statement, a new baby. It can be a bringer of joy, a source of frustration, a trigger, or an inducer of love. I simply don't know how these words will land on you. But instead of asking how we're thinking about this alike, what would it look like to flip it on its head and ask, how are we thinking about this differently? How do you define this concept? And I know that might sound counterintuitive, because we are often raised in this country to believe similarities lead the way. We look for the things that unite us, that bring us together. We are, after all, the United States of America. But when we encounter differences, that often leaves us in a position where we don't know what to do with them or how to value them. If we reframe the idea that different equals bad to simply allow it to mean different, it opens the door to a world of possibilities for us to understand each other on a new level. Instead of asking why another person doesn't think, act, or speak like me, what would it mean to ask what about the way another person thinks, speaks, and acts is important to them? I don't have all the answers, but I'd hazard to guess that we might all stand to learn something new if we took time to put it into context. Thank you.